Is my case uncommon? Long story short, with the same guy for 7 years, I excelled in college and he never could get his essay together enough to go to class, not from a lack of intellect, just a lack of motivation and possibly depression. I went to grad school and we were long distance for some of it. He was a 2-hour drive away, and I saw him almost every weekend. I get my first job in my career field in 2016 after 10 months of long distance, and he moves out to be with me, 1,000 miles from our support base. I'm the breadwinner, he worked retail jobs. I didn't care, I never tried to make him feel bad at it. He proposed and we got married after 9 years of dating. He said he didn't mind me being the breadwinner and I trusted him. I get transferred to a town within 3 hours of our college town, close to both our families. We were good, or so I thought. Then I get transferred to our current town, which is where we started, our college town, closer to our friends and families. Then COVID hit. He hasn't gotten a job yet and is taking camping trips, which isn't so unusual. He has always done that and I never minded. Then in late June he tells me he is going to get an Airbnb at our previous town. He has since gotten an online part-time job, 2 hours away. Said he is having trouble being motivated to get his work done at our apartment. I said that seems dumb since I worked my ass off to get us back to our college town. He then admits he has been cheating on me during his camping trips with a retail co-worker for our last town. I know who she is because I've met her. Kind of an unstable mess psychologically, and he thinks he loves her. I was gutted. He went to stay with his mom and then just didn't talk to me. I filed for divorce last week. My family and his family thinks he has had a nervous breakdown or something, too depressed to take care of himself, etc. I never expected this from him, at all. He seemed to always be a man or character and morals until this. Nobody in his family or our friend group knew he was having an affair. I'm close with his family and they are devastated. I'm reading statistics and it looks like it's common for men who are financially dependent on their wives to cheat. My therapist said he maybe felt like he was your damsel in distress, then to feel like a man again he gravitated towards someone who could be his damsel in distress, and that really made a lot of sense to me. His answer was, I fell out of love with you and now I love her. Simple as that. All the while he is taking advantage of my income and good health insurance. He is obviously not the man I thought I married and not the man his family or my family thought he was. Maybe he is depressed or self-conscious, but he wouldn't ever admit that to me, I don't think. It's been 6 weeks since D-Day and I'm getting over the sadness and grief, but the anger remains. Not really anger at his stress. I know she is a mess and hardly capable of taking care of herself, but I'm very angry at my STBXBC. I never once pressured him into marriage. He could have left me at any point. Seems like he just wanted his cake and eat it too. No kids, no shared property. The divorce should be very clean. I'm the one paying for it, of course, since he barely has a pot to PSS in. Plus my credit is stellar and his is awful. I know I should look at this as a clean break and I'm trying to. I still love him because he was my best friend for a decade, and we had a healthy time life, and I thought we had a good marriage. I can't help feeling taken advantage of and completely angry at the betrayal. I'm trying to work through those emotions with counseling, and I think I have a realistic expectation of my immediate future. It's gonna suck for a long time, but I'm making the right decision. My hang-up is the fact that everyone that loves him knows this is so out of character for him. I do not regret filing for divorce, but I'm wondering if he will ever own up to his own BLS. I know it doesn't really matter, and I'm moving on without him. I guess I'm just asking for support from this community. Update: no longer waiting for my husband to wake up because I've woken up and know I deserve better. My future is mine. D-Day was back in June and I did the pick-me dance for exactly 2 weeks, and then I told him I was done and the ATM was closed. Just waiting on him to sign the divorce papers, then I'm 100% free from worrying about his ass. I haven't been nasty, I didn't burn his things, I just set boundaries and stood my ground. I never thought I would have the strength to make it on my own, but here I am, doing fine without him. He didn't pay the bills. I always did because I worked hard to get to where I am in my career, and I live so comfortably without him. I'm proud that life threw me horrendous curveballs and I didn't give up. I didn't lose my asset. I know I'm a strong woman who is 100% capable of making herself happy, and I don't need a man to complete me. Sending love to everyone out there who is feeling lost and scared. You have this and you know your worth. Don't settle for empty promises. Update: my SDBX hasn't told his family and we've been separated for almost 2 months. I still get family texts updating me on so and so being pregnant and just general how are you messages, none of which I respond to. Found out from would-be sister-in-law that my husband is living without of charity that I'm close with none of the extended family knows, and even one of my husband's brothers that he is close with doesn't know. He is close with his family, and it seems like my husband is ignoring the situation completely and burying his head in the sand. Also found out that he has received the divorce papers from my lawyer in the mail and he is just ignoring that too. His family that knows thinks he going through a mental breakdown. He hasn't contacted me at all since he moved out almost 2 months ago and apparently is acting like everything is copacetic to his family that doesn't know. I'm worried that he is ignoring the divorce papers so that he stays on my health insurance for as long as possible, which he absolutely needs with his autoimmune disorder since he doesn't have a full-time job. I don't want to break the NC, but can I poke the bear so I can get this it over with already? Update: should we break NC to try to get him to sign the divorce papers? My husband cheated on me with a co-worker and thinks he loves her and would rather be with her than me. Found out June 24th and he effectively moved out to live with his mother. I filed for divorce about 4 weeks ago and he has had the papers for about 3 weeks. The divorce petition is very fair. He keeps his asset and I keep mine. No kids, no shared property or assets. He hasn't signed yet and I'm still close with his family who confirms he isn't doing anything about the papers. My soon-to-be ex-brother-in-law told me he would try to get my STBXH to sign the papers and get this it over with, but no headway so far. I fear he is delaying the divorce to keep taking advantage of my health insurance for as long as he can. He really needs health insurance, and from what I know he's working 2 part-time online jobs, so he doesn't have any insurance prospects right now. I'm fighting the urge to contact him and pleading for the love of God, please sign these papers so we each can move on and he can have whatever type of relationship he wants with the AP. I feel like by me contacting him is a win on his part, and I'll be damned if he gets anything more from me. I don't know what to do. Update: being single again is not cleaning up after his mess anymore. Listening to whatever music I wanted without headphones and dancing in the kitchen. Finding a friends with benefits who will do all those things my ex was too afraid to try in the bedroom. Not paying for all his wine and vape juice anymore. Buying myself a car instead of saving up to replace his old car. Watching whatever I want instead of having to watch the sci-fi crap he liked. Meeting new people and trying new hobbies. Not worrying about him cheating on me or trying to get through to him. Most importantly, learning who I am again as a single, independent woman and learning to put myself first. D-Day was back in June and it's been a roller coaster ride, but damn, I feel good and centered right now. Update: my divorce was finalized last week. It went to default because my ex just never responded and the judge signed off. When I got the decree email from my attorney, I laughed and smiled out of relief and then cried a little bit, because of feelings. Then after work I bought champagne and the guy I'm seeing came over to my place, toasted with me, took me to bed, and made me forget all about it. The weekend before, my ex-brother-in-law and his fiancée came over to hang out and catch up. We're still close. They told me that my ex-husband and his AP broke up sometime last month and he hasn't been handling it well, drowning his sorrows every night in a heroic amount of whiskey. Upon hearing that, I immediately felt heartbroken for him. Obviously he is reaping what he's sown, left a loyal wife for a mentally unstable infatuation situation, and you wonder why it didn't work? Suppose the grass isn't greener on the other side. I realized then that I do not hate my ex-husband. I accept that the man that I thought had strong character and infallible morals was just a flawed man that talked a good game, and he wasn't that strong after all. Here's hoping he gets the help he needs. I look in the mirror today and I see who had the strength in the relationship, the one who made it all happen, the steady, true, reliable pillar that kept the walls up. I remember so vividly feeling lost without him right after I found out. Now I see that he is one who is lost. I still have my days of feeling off and feeling sad. But I don't miss my ex-husband. I don't miss who I used to be with him. This woman right here and right now is having a good time and continually learning who she is and what she wants. And above all, she knows her worth. Update: sometimes the strongest bonds come from shared pain. Has anyone else found a significant other or new friend after bonding over your respective experiences being cheated on? I'm dating a new guy and we spent a lot of time on the first few dates sharing what our spouses did and how it made us feel, etc. I know some people think it's bad form to discuss such things when first meeting someone, but it was refreshing to talk about the hard stuff with someone who has gone through the same thing. I also think it's a good view into someone's character seeing how they speak of their trauma. Has anyone else found this to be the case? Update: healing definitely ebbs and flows. I'm over a year out from my divorce from a cheater. And I've been for a long time very matter of fact about the details. My husband cheated, and I divorced him without his cooperation. I've been good, I think, for a while. But then I started dating someone who also got cheated on. He is a wonderful man whose wife just kept stepping out. We bonded a bit on our shared trauma of being cheated on, but found a wealth of other things we love about each other. I'm very happy with him in my life. He is loving and nurturing and sensitive. I'm happier now than I've been in a long time, but I'm watching him go through his divorce with his cheater. He has 2 children with her. He is dealing with a lot of emotions that everyone in this sub would understand. I'm doing my best to be here for him. Overall, I hope I'm doing a good job of it. One thing though, seeing him deal with this is bringing up things in my emotions I thought I put to rest. In a way, I'm reliving some of my emotions of when I was in the early stages of separating from my cheating ex. My therapist reminds me that healing isn't linear. We get better and then get worse and then better again. I don't even know what I'm trying to say other than I didn't expect to rehash the betrayal of my divorce by watching someone else go through it. Has anyone else been in a situation where they felt like they were done with the betrayal emotions just to have it come up again? Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1: it is simply a trigger. Most of us have them, it's normal. You just have to find a good way to deal with them with your therapist if you got one, or on your own. Redditor 2: those triggers will always be there. The wounds heal, but the scars still remain. Even with all the self-work you're doing, it still impacts you when you least expect.